Have you ever felt the need for speed? When I was 7 years old, I loved race cars more than anything. Blue ones, red ones, yellow ones, big ones, small ones. It didn't matter. I loved them. But there was one car that I loved more than the rest. It was a Nissan 300ZX, a two-seater heater, 300 horsepowers of pure octane muscle. Now, this bad boy was special. It was fast. It was like, it had T-tops. And every time I saw one on the road, I couldn't help but get excited. Now, when I was 7 years old, of course, I couldn't drive a 300ZX on my own. I mean, I don't have a driver's license. But I could get a Power Wheels. Now, if you don't know what a Power Wheels is like a kid version of a car. It's not the whole thing, not the big thing. It's a little bit smaller, but it still has two seats. It looks like the real deal. It's got keys that you put in and you turn it and it goes vroom, and it's got a little gas pedal that when you press it goes vroom and it goes straight, and it's got a wheel that you're able to turn, and you have to charge it with a battery, and every once in a while when it gets dirty you actually have to clean it up and give it a wash. Now, when I was 7 years old, more than anything, I wanted a 300ZX Power Wheels. And I knew this because my best friend Ali had one. He would drive over to my house, and when he'd drive over in his little car and I would be sitting there in my lawn, he'd look at me and he'd be like, "Hey, Amin, see you later." Sometimes he'd drive by and he'd have sunglasses on. He'd be like, "Oh, mighty fine day for a stroll." Sometimes he'd come by and he'd say, "Hey, Amin, do you want to go for a ride?" And like while I would start walking towards him, he'd be like, "Oh, gotta go." And he'd press the gas and he'd leave. I couldn't believe him. But I thought more than anything that this is something I could ask for from Allah. So every night I would go home, and after I'd perform my salah, I'd put my hands together and I'd say, "Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, give me a Nissan 300ZX. Give me a Power Wheels. It could be blue, it could be yellow, it could be green. It doesn't really matter, Ya Allah. Any color, please just give it to me, Ya Allah. Thank you." And I'd do this day after day. Day after day. Day after day after day after day. But you know what? I never ended up getting a Power Wheels. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Hoping you are well. This is Amin Asr coming live from our office in Maple Grove, straight to your home. Alhamdulillah. Today I want to talk to you about a very important topic. How come sometimes when I pray, I don't get what I want? Like when I prayed for that Power Wheels, and I prayed and I prayed and I prayed and I prayed and I didn't get it. I don't know if that's ever happened to you, but it happened to me and it was frustrating. And so today I want to talk about exactly that. Am I praying wrong? Is there something that I'm missing? I thought Allah answers my prayers, so why isn't it happening? Well, we'll talk about all that today. Now, before we do, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Amin Asr, and I am the author of Noor Kids. What is Noor Kids, you ask? Great question. Noor Kids is an Islamic program in which every month, kids from all around the United States and Canada get a new book delivered directly to their home. Books like The Power of Prayer and Faithful Friends and Never Give Up and Noor Kids Go to Hajj and so many more. Alhamdulillah, we've published over 42 books, and our latest one has just been shipped. Inshallah, families will be getting it soon. And not only that, you get a Noor Kids Global Muslim Citizen Passport. We're able to collect badges from each of the book and make it fun. Look, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Noor Kids is amazing. It makes Islam fun. Not only will you enjoy it, but when you get Noor Kids, you will support us so we can continue doing this. I say that, but honestly, I mean it. Try Noor Kids for just $1 today. For $1, we'll send you your first book. You will love it, and we will love you for it. Inshallah, give it a try, and we will welcome you into our family. Okay, enough about me. Let's talk about this topic. Why doesn't Allah answer my prayers? In order to answer that question, I am going to be reading out of a book called The Power of Prayers, which, if you know, is one of my most favorite books. And we're going to be reading from the first story from this book, okay? But before we do, allow me to introduce you to the characters. Noor Kids follows the story of Amin, Shireen, Asad, and Amira. They live in a city called Maple Grove, and they go to a school called Northport Elementary. So first there's Shireen. Here you see her invisible. Can you see her? No, you can't. Yes, you can. No, you can't. Oh, anyways. Shireen is a trailblazer. She has a twin brother named Jafar. And lots of times you'll see her with her camera because she wants to be just like her mom, who works for National Geographic. And today's story is going to be about Shireen. Then there's Amin. Amin, you can see him flying to the sky here. Loves sports. He loves baseball and soccer and football. He's got an older brother in college named Hasib. And the one thing about Amin is sometimes he does stuff without thinking about it. And because of that, he gets into trouble. Then there is Asad. Asad is a scientist. He loves to break things apart just to figure out how to put them back together again. He's got a little baby sister named Yusra. Then there's Amira. Amira is an artist. She loves exploring all of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's beauty through art and poetry and painting. Now, these four are the Noor Kids. I'm going to be reading you one story out of this book. Every book has two stories. It starts with the parents page, but this is the story I'm going to read. It's called Gone Fishing. But before I start, I need you to say, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. You guys, I didn't hear you. You got to say louder. Say loud and proud. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. All right, much better. Mom, Dad, hurry up or we will be late. Please finish packing. I want to go to the lake, says Shireen. Shireen and her family were leaving for a 3-day vacation. They planned to fish on Lake Calhoun for fun and relaxation. After the family squeezed into their van and left the city, Jafar, Shireen's brother, started to feel delighted and giddy. Oh boy, I can't wait to get on the lake and start to fish. Reeling in a big blue walleye is my one and only wish. Jafar shared his excitement with Shireen, hoping that she would join in. Soon, she also began to dream about catching a fish, making her grin. Do you see that? She's thinking about catching a blue walleye as well, and she's like smiling about it. She's like, ooh, I can't wait. I want to catch one of these fishes too. After an hour-long drive, the family finally arrived at Lake Calhoun. They made their way onto the lake and fished from their pontoon. Together, the family smiled, laughed, and played. They spent the entire day underneath the sun's rays. But as the day passed, Shireen felt down and dazed. Dad, the day's almost over and I did not get a bite. What is it that I'm not doing right? Sweet pea, there's no reason to stress at all. Tonight, raise your hands and give Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala a call. Everything is possible through Him, no matter how big or small. So, Shireen is fishing, right? She's fishing with her brother and her mom and her dad. But she's sad because even though she's been fishing the whole day, she hasn't caught one single fish. So her dad says, Shireen, you should pray. Shireen listened to her dad and agreed with what he had to say. Upon reaching the campsite, she performed wudu and began to pray. Oh my Lord, you have blessed me with so much to be thankful for. Spending an entire weekend with my family is something that I adore. I enjoy my mom, dad, and Jafar so very much. Thank you a bunch. But oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I still have one wish of you. Please help Jafar catch a walleye, one that is big and blue. And oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I would love to catch a fish too. Shireen finished her prayer and went to bed for the night. She slept full of hope, optimism, and delight. That means Shireen went to sleep thinking, oh man, I can't wait for tomorrow. I just made my dua. Inshallah, I'm going to catch a big fish. Just as the sun slowly dawned on the next day, Jafar and Shireen began fishing in the bay. Do you guys see this? They're fishing. Right after casting his reel, Jafar felt a tug on his line. He jerked his rod back without wasting any time. Jafar carefully picked up the big blue fish. It was a walleye, like the one from his wish. Do you guys see that? So Jafar got one. Alhamdulillah. Good work, Jafar. I knew your dream would come true. Last night I asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to thank you. Inshallah, your turn is coming soon. Maybe you'll catch one this afternoon. Shireen casted her reel and began to wait. But not a single fish took her bait. As each hour passed, Shireen became more upset. How come I am not catching anything? She asked. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I have some questions to ask. And before I ask any questions, let me address the elephant in the room. What? There's an elephant in the room? No, not an elephant in the room, but I mean something that you're probably thinking about. This story is rhyming. Well, the reason why this story is rhyming is because it's one of the first stories that we ever wrote, and our stories have changed a lot, so we don't rhyme anymore. This story is a little bit different now, but it's still a fun one to read. Anyways, have you ever had to wait for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to answer your prayer? Did it happen right away, like you prayed, Ya Allah, give me a fish, and like it's like, voila, fish? Nah, that normally doesn't happen. You normally have to wait a little bit. Sometimes when you make dua, you don't get it right away. It might take a little bit of time, right? Now, what advice would you give to Shireen? Shireen prayed last night and she hasn't caught a fish yet. Should she give up or should she continue to pray? She should continue to pray, right? All right, let's see what happens. Shireen decided that she would go home and pray. She performed wudu and thought about what to say. Oh my Lord, thank you for the blessings that you have showered on me. For example, boating on Lake Calhoun and spending time with my family. Also, thank you for helping Jafar catch a walleye, one that was big and blue. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I still have one wish to ask of you. I would love to catch a fish too. Shireen finished her prayer and went to bed for the night. She slept full of hope, optimism, and delight. The next morning, Shireen wasted no time getting back to the lake. She prepared her fishing rod and grabbed her finest bait. By the way, do you guys know what bait is? So when you go fishing, you take bait and you put it onto your hook. So bait could be like food. Okay, so you put a little bit of food on your hook and you put it into the lake. That way fishes will come, eat the bait. And when they eat the bait, that's when you got them. All right, so that's what bait is. Today, I will inshallah catch a fish. I have faith that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will grant my wish. But the day slowly passed by and the sun began to set. Disheartened, Shireen started to feel terribly upset. Do you see this? The sun is up and it's going down and it's slowly going away. Okay, dear, we have to get ready to go. Time for supper. But Mom, why hasn't Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala answered my prayers? Says Shireen. Sweet pea, God always knows best. Give it some time. Never lose faith. Things will work out just fine. Right as Shireen was about to cry, she received a jolt of hope in catching a walleye. Oh my God, I just felt a tug on my rod. God! Shireen hustled. She reeled in her line using all of her muscle. Do you see her rod is so taut? She's reeling it in. But as she spotted her catch, she again felt miserable. There was no fish in sight. Instead, there was a turtle. Oh, Shireen, please do not be upset. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed you with a wonderful pet. You asked for a fish, but he gave you something so much better. A pet turtle can be your friend forever. Shireen agreed with her mom and quickly turned her frown into a grin. She thanked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, realizing that her success was due to him. Oh Lord, you gave me something better than I could have ever expected. Alhamdulillah, my prayer has been answered. The end. Bum, ba-dum. Round of applause. Woo, 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 woo. All right. So I want to talk about what we just went over because this story was actually really deep. Really deep. And you know why it was so deep? Because it was in a lake. And that lake was deep. Nah, just kidding. That was a joke. No, it was deep because there were some really interesting pieces to it. Shireen did not get what she wanted. The whole entire time, what did Shireen want? Shireen wanted a walleye. So she prayed for a walleye and prayed for a walleye and prayed for a walleye. But did she get a walleye? No. No, she didn't. She got a turtle. And the reason for that is because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He listens to every one of our prayers, but He doesn't give us exactly what we want. He gives us whatever is best. Okay? So for example, Shireen wanted a fish, but you know what's better than a fish? A turtle. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala answered her prayer, but by answering her prayer, He didn't give her a fish. Allah gave her a turtle. Okay? And one of the things that we know, okay, Allah says in the Quran that one of His name is Al-Mujib. I want you to say it after me. Al-Mujib. Al-Mujib. Say it again. Al-Mujib. One more time. Al-Mujib. Okay, that means Allah is the answerer. What that means is that every single time we ask Allah for anything, He will answer our prayer. He will answer our prayer, but He will give us what is best. Like I'll tell you, for example, remember when I told you about that 300ZX that I wanted? The one that was a 2-speeder heater, the one that my friend Ali would come and he'd drive and be like, hey, me and you want to ride? I'd be like, yeah, and I'd walk over and he'd be like, brrr, and he'd go away and I'd be like, oh man, I can't believe this is happening. Well, I never got a Power Wheels, but Allah gave me something so much better. You know what He gave me? He gave me an actual Nissan 300ZX. I had to wait for it. I had to wait about 10 years, right? It wasn't until I was 17 years old that I finally got it. But I finally got the real thing. You see, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala answers our prayers, but He gives us what's best, and sometimes He makes us wait for it. And I'll give you another example, okay? This here is a photo of my baby. Her name is Kauthar Noor, okay? I love Kauthar Noor. And Kauthar Noor loves grapes. She loves them. She'll just eat. She just wants to eat them up. Anytime she sees a grape, she starts making. She doesn't know how to talk it, so she's like, But here's the thing. I can't give her a full grape because she's just a little baby. If a little baby ate a full grape, what would happen? She would get sick. It wouldn't fit in her mouth. She would get in trouble. It would be terrible. So of course, even though my baby wants that grape, even though my baby goes, and wants that grape, that doesn't mean I'm going to give her the whole grape. No, I might cut it up and make a small piece and I'll give it to her. Or maybe I might wait until she gets a little bit older when she can eat it all by herself. In the same exact way, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala listens to our du'as. Sometimes when we don't get exactly what we want, we have to think back to Kauthar, right? That maybe we're not ready for it. Maybe we have to wait a little bit longer before we can get it. Or number two, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give us something better. He may not give us exactly what we want. He'll give us what is better. Allahu Akbar. I hope you guys appreciated that because, look, this is deep. This is important. This is one of the key things that we remember about dua, that when we pray, Allah always gives us what's best. Now, look, yesterday I issued a challenge. I gave you the Masjid tour challenge, okay? Let me show you the video one more time in case you missed it. It's me, Amin, and I am not in my office. No, I'm at the Masjid. Now, the Masjid is a special place. It's not just a place where we come and have fun and meet friends. No, it's a sacred space. It's a place where we are able to connect with Allah. And during the month of Ramadan, there isn't a better place where we can go. So I'm challenging you to give a tour of your Masjid. I want you to record a video just like this one where you show us around your Masjid. That way we can all see it. Once you do, click the link below. You'll be able to upload it. The ones that I like the most, I'll be putting together and sharing my own reactions. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so I gave you that challenge yesterday. And you know how many people participated? Just a couple, all right? So today and tomorrow, all right? 2 more days. Today and tomorrow, we're going to keep this challenge open. And this challenge is amazing. I want you to think about this for a moment, right? The Masjid is an amazing place, a beautiful place, and now you have a chance to share it with the world. One of the videos I want to share with you is Maryam's, okay? Let me show you Maryam's. Oh, that's mine. Let me show you Maryam's real quick. This is amazing. You're going to love this. And by the way, fun story about Maryam, who's in here. So this is Maryam over here with the blue hijab. And by the way, look, her and her sisters are all, mashallah, wearing the same outfit. One time, I met Maryam in person. And you know what Maryam did? She baked me some cookies. Real cookies. Just thinking about it makes me hungry, ya Allah. Anyways, Maryam is sweet because she made me cookies. Sweet. You get it? Sweet, because cookies are sweet. Sugar. All right, let's go. Bismillah.
Noor Kids. My name is Maryam, and this is my sister Sarah and my sister Haji. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. MashaAllah. How cute are these kids? Allahu Akbar.
Here at our masjid. This is the map of America. Our masjid is the only masjid on the eastern shore of Maryland.
Allahu Akbar. That's amazing. So here's a quick thing. You see this map? You see this over here, this funny looking state over here, Minnesota? Minnesota, that's where I live. That's where I am right now. The best state in the whole country. The best city in the whole world. Nah, it's not the best, but it's pretty good.
Let me show you around. We're going to go into the masjid in a minute, but first I want to show you some fun things we have on the outside of our masjid. This is a fun hill that my sisters love to run on, as you can see.
Yes, we can see them. And I'll tell you, when I was a kid, one of my favorite things that we used to do at the masjid is we used to play tag and hide and seek. And during the winter, we'd play something called King of the Hill. And that sounds like a really cool hill. If it was in Minnesota, it'd be a lot of fun in the winter. Or going sledding. Amazing.
And over here, we have a tent for the brothers and a small house for the sisters to have iftar. We use this house for iftar and Eid parties. This is our sisters section.
Oops. That was funny. They went to the sister section and then they saw that there was an auntie who was praying and they're like, oh! Ooh. Oh, man.
Children's section.
Oh, this is the children's section. Allahu Akbar. Look at that. Amazing.
Now we are going to the brothers section.
The brothers section. Whoa, no. What are we going to see when she turns the corner? Allahu Akbar. What's going to be in the brothers section? Oh, my God. Oh, they're praying namaz. Alhamdulillah. It's a beautiful masjid.
One thing I like about our masjid is they have lots of Islamic books for us. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, Mariam. Thank you so much. That was amazing. And I really feel like, mashallah, you just welcomed us into your masjid. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I would love for you to welcome us into your masjid too. It's super simple. I want you to record a 2-minute video or less where you share with us your masjid. And look, a masjid is something to take pride in, something to love. And I can't wait to see it from your community. So take a video tonight, go on the website, noorkids.com/masjid. Otherwise, if you are on your Android device right now and you're on the Noor Kids app, by the way, you can just search for noorkids.com. You can upload it, and then P.S. Look, I made a little video too. Let me show you mine. It's not technically from a masjid, but it's still pretty cool. All right, well, I know I'm supposed to take a tour of the masjid, but I'm going to do a little bit differently. I'm going to take a tour of a school that I recently visited. This is Medina Academy in Virginia. So let me actually show you what this school looks like. So this was actually last weekend I was there. It was amazing, really, really cool. It is a Montessori school, and so if you see behind me, it's like super beautiful. There's like photos on the wall. This is seriously sweet. Look at these drawings. And there's one more thing. Let me show you my favorite part. My favorite part's right over here. You'll see this. It is a punching bag. And they even have helmets. Because in that school, they all get into fights. No, that's not why. Because they do taekwondo. That's amazing. Anyways, so this is a school that I was recently at. I'd love to see your masjid. So they do taekwondo at their school. Isn't that amazing? All right, so look, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about something that many of you may be doing, or may be doing in a halfway, or maybe not be doing. It's called fasting. Inshallah, tomorrow we're going to be answering the question, why do Muslims fast? It's a good question. And not only will we answer that question, I'm going to expose you to some of my favorite dad jokes. You're going to love them. All right, sounds good. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.